for another installment of Behind No Big Head Beersters, Big Head Bastards. There we go. Yet again, we have a change of scenery because it's like 20 degrees outside. It's cold as a motherfucker outside, so we're not doing stuff outside. Also, we do not have our normal La producer with us.
Yep.
She got called into work. So tonight, my dad is the one who is going to be bringing our beers out, which is actually what he's doing. At the moment, we have, for once, we actually have no idea what the hell we're drinking yet. At all. There's some sort of a pinkish thing, something that definitely looks like a stout or a Scotch ale, or it's definitely a dark beer. Don't know yet. At this point, I want to see what the array is before
the colors going on here.
Yeah, I think we need to.
You have your phone with you? You can take a picture of
yes.
of the array when we get it.
Yes, I will make sure that I take a picture of. I'll make sure that I take a picture of that once we've got all the stuff out. But yeah, I mean, right now we've got this, which is.
Oh my God! It's so.
The lighting in here does not make it look right, but it's still. That's pink.
Looks like juice. Oh, wow. It smells like wine.
It has definitely a raspberry thing. The dark stuff. It's
standard dark stout.
That has got to be some sort of stout. Malty. Smells very malty. It's quite pleasantly malty.
We also have pistachios because we're terrible at taking care of ourselves.
Yeah, we're sitting here. He's eating them one by one, which
like a psychopath.
I cannot abide that. I would prefer to buy shelled pistachios, but it's way cheaper to buy them not shelled and just DIY. So yeah, that's super cool. Although I'm about to stop peeling these things because I'm just going to get distracted by that. So we have 6 beers tonight that we have absolutely no idea what they are.
We actually got random beers like we promised when we first started the show.
Our friend Kai went out and got 6 random beers for us. Today, a little bit of our show is it partially brought to. There's a thing that you were saying about Humble Bundle being a thing.
Oh yeah, so Humble Bundle is actually the way that we got in the editing software that we use for this show. So, if you want to get cheap beans and also donate to charity, check out Humble Bundle.
Yeah, we're drinking for the kids.
Yeah.
Totally.
For the children.
It's for the kids. Is that like an ambery thing? Yeah, that looks like an ambery thing. What do we got here? A reddish, ambery-ish kind of thing.
It's going to be interesting because we actually never had like a complete. Whoa.
That's a pale or a pilsner or some sort of thing. That's all right.
I swear to God, if there's a Belgian snuck in here.
No, there will be no Belgians. If there are Belgians, then Kai doesn't get to buy us beer anymore.
Fired.
Like, you had one job, said no Belgians.
It's not the Belgian episode yet.
Yeah, no.
If you want a Belgian episode,
more Patreon.
check out patreon.com/phb. I actually remember the URL now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, because I said it to be simpler than a giant barcode.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to memorize a barcode.
No. YouTube.com/?apostrophe exclamation point HMXZMF
7ZR5
7832 Q like
35R14. What?
if somebody was paying attention to those numbers, I want to see what that YouTube video is.
I don't know that I do because
Probably like some weird Muppet thing.
we're getting rickrolled. Oh man, I'm glad that fad is over.
Yeah,
oh
don't
God.
start it again by mentioning it on the internet.
Yeah, it's gonna trend because of me, and if it does, oh man, no.
If it does, Swear to God.
Please don't. Don't rickroll
Get
people.
rickety wrecked.
Although that is a thing that I should do to someone at the club again. And
Rickroll them.
yes, there's nothing quite like rickrolling a stripper. Especially if they've okayed it.
That's a new sentence.
There are there have been a few gals that are like, yeah, no, if at any point you want to rickroll me, go for it. I'm like, have done a couple times. Be like, do. Everybody in the club does not seem alright. La 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 la. And you know what? I'm never gonna give that up. Might let you down sometime.
Give you what?
Or
Never gonna let you
desert you. And for those of you who might be wondering, this painting behind us, my grandfather painted based off of a picture that he found in a magazine. He was like, hey, that's kind of cool. And he did that a long time ago. Yep. Grandpa was badass. Right. So we're going to have to start probably with the pale.
The pale ale.
We still have another 2 beers that we're going to have incoming.
Like with the pink one, or?
This is very Wayne's World.
Yeah,
Yes.
This is very Wayne's World.
This is party time. Excellent. But we're not in the basement. Okay, so there's a pill. Ooh, that's definitely Pilsner.
Okay,
That
is pale.
Oh, sorry, wrong one. Yes, very pale. And then we have beer number 5. Dad labeled them with numbers. That's cool. That's definitely a ready type
It's gonna
thing.
be easier on the edge.
Oh,
Oh, those look like.
that looks
beer.
like a Hefeweizen. Really. All right, so we've got these lighter ones. We'll finish up with the stout. And this.
He's suspicious.
I feel like I've had this one before. Actually, I think I've had several of these before, but we'll see. And none of these were ciders, right?
Thank you.
Nope, no ciders? Okay. So, yeah, this looks like the one to probably start off with. What's labeled as beer number 4.
Beer number 4.
Here goes. It almost makes me think of, well, that's got to be like a Pilsner. It might be like an ultra pale ale, but that's I think that's a Pilsner.
That is the most mild tasting beer.
And if I didn't,
It's a very quiet beer.
if I thought Stella came in cans,
Well, are all these from cans, or could they
yes,
be bottles?
these are, no, all 6 of these beers came from cans.
It's not bad. It's just very mild.
Pilsners are all mild and very inoffensive. Oh, now for the Steinbier, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing this is a Hefeweizen.
I hope so.
That is an IPA.
Woo. Hello.
It's definitely an IPA.
Yeah, I can drink like a pitcher of this. This one doesn't have a number on it.
I don't think it needs one.
That.
Man, that's toppy as fuck and it tastes really familiar.
Very, very hoppy.
No, that's undoubtedly an IPA.
Oh shit, you're going for that one? That one's way over here.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's different kind of layout every time, I swear. It seems like.
We'll eventually get a set. It'll be fun.
At some point, yes. Alright, some more beer.
Oh, nope. Oh.
drink some water and have a couple pistachios real quick.
Yeah. Hey, look at that one. Oh, okay. Hello, last beer. Yeah, thank you. From our show with it. Is this water warm?
Mm-hmm.
Right, you were sitting outside earlier.
I was sitting outside in the roughly 20-degree weather.
Warm water would definitely help with that.
Yes, I thought filling up my insulated grunt with warm water was a good idea.
Did you know water is just flavored by its temperature?
And minerals and it's been cleansed.
Are you drinking this one?
No, it's number 5, which is
And right here, the one that I just didn't like. I don't know.
this also is very familiar. I feel like I've had a lot of that beer. Okay. Moving down the scale, I guess we'll go for number 3, which
This
I think,
one?
yeah. That
This is
no.
number 2. Number 3 is way over there. So far away.
So far away from me. Smells like beer. Malty.
Whoa.
That's got a lot of sweetness on it.
I just filled my nose with cream.
Man. Oof.
Oh, we
That's,
forgot to.
my God. Unforgivable.
Dig it and sip.
Man. It's like chocolatey.
I actually kind of like it, although I don't like chocolate. So it's kind of like a cocoa-y.
Well, it's got that kind of very slightly bitter chocolate kind of thing going on from the roasted barley.
Excuse me.
For a moment, another phone call coming in. Gosh, it's so much
Hey.
fun. At some point, if we get enough Patreon money, we'll be able to afford a nice camera.
So just also like a side note to everybody, that one wasn't anybody that I know. That was a scam call.
Yeah.
If you're a robocall company, go fuck yourself.
Oh. Okay, so.
Oh crap! Now I'm doing it.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, put the camera on this side because I'm the one who usually doesn't do that.
This is a darkness.
It has a certain darkness that resonates with my soul. Oh, that is.
Ooh, it's like smoky.
Yeah.
That is rather nice.
I like it.
And that sound is someone coming downstairs.
Yes.
That is the person that purchased all the beers.
It's very dark.
Alright.
The darkness. Yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna take a minute before I go after this pink thing because, well, I can like, I know it's a raspberry something, but I'd like to.
There we go. Whoa. Okay. Yeah.
Like that's fucking raspberry.
Smells like a preserve.
Do I have a bowl of coffee beans? Or a cup of coffee beans?
No.
I think they're pellets.
Isn't using pistachios and warm water. That cleans the palate.
Yeah, coffee beans.
I'm gonna sniff the inside of my arm. No, it's you. You are used to the smell of you, and there are certain parts of you that are usually reliably smell like you. And because a lot of taste has to do with smell, one thing that you can do to cleanse your palate, so to speak, is to sniff the
Yeah.
crook of your arm.
The only problem with that is that I use a sandalwood soap, so I always smell like
Ditto.
sandalwood. Whoa. It is tart and sweet. It doesn't taste like beer anymore. It tastes like a cider. I tastes like raspberry preserves, or like a tart. Raspberry tart.
I think this is supposed to be like a raspberry saison. I don't know. It doesn't taste like.
It has like raspberry sparkling wine or something.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a cidery thing, but
It's good. It's very good.
not bad. All right. Just out of all of these, as far as a thing that I think I would just go, yeah. Given these, I'll take a pint of that. I think I know what my winner is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll present winners at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Huh?
Oh.
Yeah. No. This is as far as just a.
I like a good mug of hoppy beer.
Ooh. After the runaround, it's not as
This
good. But I mean, that's just this was my favorite that I
reminds me of my wedding day when I drank
I-
so much.
I fucking swear I've had that before. I know I'm
You drank a lot of beer.
yeah, I have had a lot of different
I like
beers
how
and
the
ciders.
angle of this camera makes it so I can just like hand of fate myself.
Hmm.
Funny.
But I don't know. 4 is dead last for me just because it's a Pilsner and it's so.
It's water.
Yeah, I'm just not like I appreciate it for what it is. It is a good Pilsner, but it's not my bag. That goes just behind that. All right, that's my order of preference.
Yeah, we did. Would you stop it?
Are they good?
So many technical difficulties today.
Every last one of these is a good example of what it is. I'm going to guess based on no. I'm just thinking of what it's probably labeled as on the can, like if it's a stout or if it's an IPA or a Pilsner or
What have you?
a red ale.
Ignore the digging noises.
So
Are you ready for the try?
yes, we are prepared to find out.
The digging noises is both our producer who isn't here yelling at us remotely, and
I'm the other
notifications from you
producer.
guys. So
I'm just the silent producer.
She's really quietly saying, "I'm just the silent producer."
yeah, I'm gonna
All right.
crank up the mic sensitivity for that. Oh, hello.
Oh, I fucking knew it. All right.
Okay.
You knew what?
Claymore.
Ah.
So, obviously, this is the Apocalypse IPA.
That's the one I picked up.
Well, here. Let's, well, I guess we'll go with what's number 1, the pink one. That is the Alesmith Forgeberry. That's a fucking cool name.
Oh.
Surprisingly tart raspberry ale.
Well, you were right about the raspberry. It was very.
I was like, yeah, there's no
It's
mistaking.
an ale. That's why it was so cidery. You can just adopt the
See,
flavor
number
very
2.
well.
Number 2
That
is
number 2 is the Claymore.
yes.
Like that, yeah. Which it's this lovely little
That's
thing
got a guy
right
with a
here.
claymore on it.
Let's see. This one is my guess. Wait, hang on. That's Odin's Gift, right?
Yes.
Number 3. All right. I have been to that brewery. I've had this on tap. So That makes this the African Amber and that the American Lager. Number 5 would be the African Amber, Mac and Jack's African.
That's the amber. Yeah.
And that last one is Rogue Dreamland American Lager. Man,
Yes.
that's a really thin lager. I love lagers, and that's...
I mean, it is American.
I'll make sure I grab these last 2 cans so you guys can see.
Can't expect the U.S. to make a good lager.
Oh, that's such a lie.
I mean, what do you expect from me?
Good. I well done, I think, on the
Yeah.
selection of...
First mystery episode is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I will take that as a compliment with my lack of knowledge.
Yeah, no, they're good.
Yes,
managed to-
the person that picked out all of these beers does not drink beer. She does not like taste beer. She just doesn't give a fuck about beer.
Which is why it's so perfect that she's picking it out, because it's 2 beerhead bastards. Not wait, beersters, bastards. Yeah, whatever.
So 2 of these beers are new to me. All of the rest of them, there's a reason why they seem so damn familiar. Like, I swear I've had this, but this, to me, tastes like fucking Stella. It's not. It
Got a pretty can though.
does have a very pretty can.
Okay, I want to keep that can.
You can keep the can as a souvenir.
Really pretty.
And this is part of the episode where normally we'd have our producer yelling at us to make sure we don't say certain things. You've been warned. Flashing red text on the screen. I just put it up. It's NSFW warning right there. What?
There's the flashing red.
Yeah, there you go. Flashing red light from over there. Boop, boop, boop. We don't have a producer yell at us, and this is probably not going to be an episode that gets advertising. So, you want to say anything about, like, fuck a certain group of persons that shouldn't exist because it's already been, like, several hundred years of figuring out this shit?
Death to all those who oppose the
Equal rights?
death to anyone who opposes the freedom of the working class and the individual. And
Hey, you got a sticker that says that.
yeah. Yep.
It's a little worn off the phone.
Death to all those who stand in the way of freedom for working people. Yeah, pretty much like.
Join a union. A good union.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
I got a spare one, so you can have one.
Yeah, the problem is I put a sticker on the phone and then like it's not the best made sticker, so it kind of
Rubs off.
wears off a little bit. You can see there it's not really. I have other copies of the sticker where you can actually see the whole thing, but yeah, that doesn't really have a thing. I was actually perfectly prepared to not talk about much of anything political. I was actually going to ask you what you knew about Tetris and how far you had managed to get being able to play like the original Nintendo or Game Boy Tetris.
Oh, I was just saying that you had like more than a minute to make a statement on it. I wasn't planning on making a political episode.
If it leads around to it, then I probably will.
Okay.
But yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Dude, I fucking love old games like that. Are you kidding
Well,
me?
no, but specifically Tetris. I have questions.
So like, are you talking about like how far I managed to get like playing on an original Nintendo? And,
Yeah,
like,
or
how
like
many
like
levels?
if you're doing B style, where you get to actually pick what level you start at. Like,
I always started at level 1, and I would typically loop around a couple times. I actually okay. It's kind of
wait, what do you? So you're talking A type, where you start at the beginning and it just like there's nothing on the screen and you just like
But I've beaten
play
like
until it rolls
B-Type
through.
a few times.
Okay, so you've done like anybody that's done like I can still close my eyes and see Tetris pieces falling.
Yeah,
because,
no, I
when
can
was
like
a kid,
I can like combine them and like make the.
my
the
dad
line.
got me a Game Boy very, 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 very shortly after they came out because it was far more portable than Nintendo. And when we went on a large number of road trips because it's hard to find babysitters when you have it's hard to find babysitters and it's hard to afford
Period.
babysitters, and it's kind of bullshit that we don't have better childcare available for a lot of people in this country. But I mean, just as far as being able to have people be supervised. Anyway, he had to take a bunch of trips. I got to go on a bunch of trips. Well, the thing is, also, he spent a lot of time in recording booths and editing rooms and sound studios, and I also spent a lot of time in those places, and I usually wound up holed up somewhere with my Nintendo or a VCR and some headphones and watching TV and a Game Boy, and a couple of books. Man, I was good to go for like 2-3 days. Just that's all I need. And I found out it took like everybody gets to a certain point playing Tetris where they're like, well, at least if you're good, you get through and you can start at like 9-5 on B, or you can just start it up and be like, yeah, fuck it, I play through. Woo, I beat the game again.
I need to waste some time. Let me just.
I remember I was fucking around with shit, and I found out a way. I think it's you hold down and B, or select down and B when you turn it on, and your Game Boy will it will automatically bump it up 10 levels of difficulty. Like, so basically, like, you start A type or B type. It says you're at level 0, but you're actually at level 10. It automatically starts one way past.
Debug
Now,
speed mode.
so there's also a way to do it on the Nintendo, like the NES.
Yeah.
I can do 9-5, regular mode. When you start getting past that, they start to refer to it as like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like 19-5. Up until very recently, no one had beat the highest possible thing on Tetris. Like, start at the fastest fucking thing, ramp that thing all the way up, and go to the number 5 difficulty, which is 12 layers of garbage that you have to fight through and be able to actually, like, do stuff. No evidence of anyone on the planet having done it until just a couple of fucking months ago. Actually, maybe it's more like 4 months now. I don't remember. I think it was like in November, maybe December of 2020 that somebody finally...
Like, actually beat
Yeah.
Tetris.
And they're like, this is counting even people that like professionally do world championship Tetris, the best people in the world at Tetris, at specifically...
I think they typically compete at level 16, don't they?
It's like they start at like
It's
15.
hard, but it's not like
They start at
impossible.
like 15 and 18 are two of the big ones, and there's a bunch of stuff in 19 that, yeah, I mean, you can work up to. But like even the best of the best of the best on the planet are like, fuck that level. And yeah, somebody actually finally fucking did it.
It's like the whole Takeshi's Challenge. Did you ever hear about that game?
Oh my god!
I beat Takeshi's Challenge. I
never played the game, but I watched the fucking TV show.
So very recently, like extremely recently, I came into possession of the game system you need. First of all, because that thing is a giant pile of...
Super Famicom, right?
It is a giant pile of garbage. Oh my god. First of all,
There's a lot of those.
hooking that thing up with all the ports that you need for a modern TV is just insanity. Second of all, those controllers weigh less than a pound, and there's a damn good reason for it, because the chip inside of there is thin as hell, and they're directly wired into the console, which means if your controller breaks, get a new console. Also, one of the controllers has a mic in it. I didn't know that. So when it's like going through, because I looked up a guide to play Takeshi's Challenge, because I have a cartridge, an original cartridge of Takeshi's Challenge. First of all, way too expensive for its own good. I had to trade in like 6 other rare games for it.
Yeah, there's some shit that I want to get that I'm just like, why do you have to cost so much? Why did
Right.
I not buy you when I was younger? Why did I not ask my dad to buy you when I was younger?
Nobody
Wait, I
wanted
did.
Takeshi's Challenge. But I finally managed to beat it, and I am going to have nightmares about that UFO pigeon level. You're on an air glider shooting a revolver, and you can only go down. So if you lower your air glider, you have to hit a gust of wind at the same level as you to tick back up again. But there's like UFOs and clouds and pigeons all coming after you, and you can only shoot your gun like pew, 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 and if you dodge too far down and you shoot the air that lets you lift up and you're about to hit a mountain, you now have destroyed the air and have hit the mountain, and guess what? You have to start the entire game over again.
I think I'd rather try to go back through Contra without cheating again.
Yeah. No fucking kidding, dude. I looked up a John Tron video after I managed to beat it of him doing it, and he's like, yeah, no, I'm releasing this episode in 2014, and I started this review in 2012. The only reason I beat it is because I had to look up a guide. I couldn't deal with it had mandatory wait times, dude.
The only reason why I beat Contra is because at one point I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna beat that game without fucking cheating. So I had to beat it with cheating a whole lot because it's like the same 4 levels over and over and over.
But
they just get faster.
Yeah.
And
it's just oozing from the walls.
Yeah, it's like, all right, learn how to shoot at everything before it even fucking shows up. Like
Ninja Gaiden in a nutshell.
Dude. Also, another thing that I just recently found out, someone, I think it was in 2020, maybe in 2019, it was not all that long ago, someone actually managed a no-hit speed run of Ninja Gaiden, which means they played from start to finish, beat the game, and did not get hit one time.
There's a couple of like almost mandatory hit points in that game that you have to like glitch through a wall to avoid.
No, there is one that up until very recently was considered to be absolutely mandatory, and that is the final boss in the game, because
it Kaizo traps you.
Pardon, man.
My bad.
I smoke too much. It's not the plague.
The plague.
So, as you get up to the final boss, you have to. There's 3 parts of it that you have to hit to be able to kill the whole thing, and there's a head, there's a tail, and there's like a body part. You have to hit the head. You have to hit each of them, I think, 16 times or 12 times. 16 times to kill them off. After you hit the head 10 or 11 times, it pops off and barrels towards you. And you're going to get hit by it if you let it hit you.
Yeah.
But there's apparently ways to like slash cancel or cancel slash to be like attack the thing while you're jumping and just basically go back and forth between the jump button and the slash button or something.
So you kind of slash as you're moving up so you avoid it as it pops off?
Well, basically like you trigger, instead of just having like the animation will show like one little thing, but you can like hit the button a whole bunch of times to, I think it's like you hit down and slash and just keep doing that. But you have to do it like 5 times in less than a second. Like it's like 5 times in maybe less than half a second. I don't know. It's a very short time span where you gotta with perfect precision on like 2 buttons, maybe 3. I don't remember, but yeah, it's one of those things like, okay, one, you have to be able to work all the way through the game to get to this point, and then you have to rely on being able to do this one little tiny fucking thing.
You have to make sure that your system isn't gonna like lag for a second.
Oh no, the system isn't gonna lag because it's a fucking original Nintendo. They don't lag.
That's true.
If they lag, then they just froze and there's something wrong.
It's dead.
Like reset. Good luck. But like you have this like fraction of a second to be able to actually like do all of this, or you have to do all of this stuff in a fraction of a second. Yeah, and one person finally managed to pull off the whole run.
That's amazing.
Yes, I get speed runs of random shit on my YouTube news feed, which I kind of appreciate. I've learned some stuff about Minecraft because of that.
Minecraft is so if we're going on the subject of like survival games, I love survival games, but if anyone ever finds me on Steam, which please don't, I've got like 30 of them on there, and I have them all maxed out on achievements and stuff, because every time I play a survival game, I used to be an RTS player, which means that I min-max by habit. So I eventually end up with, like, and a good example, Rust. Game where you can pretty much build it whatever you want, and you can militarize your base. It's been 3 days of me playing a game. I've been stuck at home in quarantine because,
Because of the plague.
And I went from literally waking up naked on a beach to having the largest compound on the server.
In how long?
3 days. Total of about, I want to say 15 hours of gameplay.
Did you just run that grind? What the fuck? Did you look at? I'm curious as to how you were just like, I'm gonna dominate this game. Like
So there's a very specific way to do it. If you can find,
Now, did you look into strat before you jumped into the game?
I have never looked at a single strategy book for this game
I didn't say book.
or strat. I've
No,
never looked it up.
no guide. Okay,
No.
you're just like.
I've been playing the game since it was in like pre-alpha on a completely different engine.
Oh, okay. That just makes me think of Neverwinter Nights, which has had so many fucking incarnations. I've played like 5 betas of Neverwinter Nights. They're all, none of them were ever the same thing apart. Like the only thing that they had in common was the name and the fact that they had something to do with Forgotten Realms.
Fair enough. But yeah, so everybody the strat. Find an area where a mountain has a tunnel through it, or like there's a tunnel into a piece of rock, or like a good leaning edge of stone. Do not ever put your house somewhere where you need to build yourself a roof. Make it part of the landscape that is indestructible, because that way people can't bomb downwards. Your roof is your weakest point on your house. The structures are built that way so that it's fair. Walls are the second strongest. Floor is the strongest. Best way to do it, lift your base up as much as you can on supports, and then build a stairway that you're okay with just like deleting when somebody's attacking you, and then just layer walls in. Put a bunker in the middle of your base. Have it in a mountain so that there's a mountain over top. Make sure you're near a gas station or junkyard so you can get as much scrap as you need. And then just literally deforest half the damn map. Take all the wood, take all the stone, make as many boxes as you need, use shelves, and then just build a high wooden wall on the inside, build a high stone wall in the middle part, and build a high metal wall on the outside part. 3 gates, bunch of sentry turrets, some outlook points, put some alarms in there if you want, and then learn how to do wiring and plumbing. This is a game where you start out naked on a beach with a stone axe, or literally not even a stone axe, a piece of rock. Like you have a rock is your starting item that you hit trees with. I have sprinklers that water my pumpkins and corn for me.
I don't know why you're like, you just start with a rock, and I was like, well, man, in Manhunt you just start with a plastic bag.
You start with a stone naked on a beach, and I basically own a facility that takes up an entire mountain range now.
I'm gonna move on to the forge berry. I gotta take a look at this can and see what we got here. This deliciously fruity creation combines the sweetness of raspberries with a bright tartness and refreshing drinkability, all within 120 calories per serving. This beer is crafted to reduce gluten. Oh, well, that's good for me.
Yeah, that's good for both of us.
Glassware tulip. Oh, my.
Ah.
I'm glad that it had that suggestion. Like, this, I'll show that, like, I'm glad that I have these glasses, because this is apparently the proper glassware for this particular brew.
I've got to say, though, if you're worried about...
Actually, that's a thing that we should...
Probably consider.
Yeah.
We should probably get, like, a collection of glasses for that. I've got an artisan beer
Dear
set.
fucking lord.
Also, just like a side note, if you're worried about casual... Or if you're worried about... Oh, if you're worried about casual... If you're worried about calories, why are you drinking beer?
Yeah, just drink vodka. What?
Not wrong.
If you're worried about calories, drink straight alcohol. Don't go straight to the liquor. Not liqueur. Liquor. Don't have beer, cider.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it properly, you probably get like a calorie or two.
So I never looked into it, but it sounds feasible enough to me. A couple years ago, one of the entertainers that I was working with, was telling me that somewhere somebody had done a study about there being enough caloric value from like
Bodily fluids.
well, I basically the like her breakdown of it was like, yeah, no, apparently like you could just like you could barely just survive on eating pussy, and that's all. Be like you'd be malnourished, but you could survive. Like,
You'd technically be alive off of like residual nutrients. Is
yeah,
what you're saying.
yeah,
You'd be a sucker fish, but you'd
yeah, pretty much. Like you like if that like you could live on it. I guess I'm like, all right, well, I mean, it's not the worst diet, but
I still remember my biology class that I took.
But yeah, no, that made me think of that and just be like, oh, fucking God.
Yeah, no, you can live off of there was like the whole thing I did in high school where they were like, pick a thing and then to find out the caloric intake of it, and the only thing I could think of was human semen, and I was like, wow, that produces a lot of proteins.
Also, same gal that I was just talking about, she was in the army, and she was going to be a Navy SEAL, and she was like all ready for like going to SEAL training, and then she got bumped out so that some dude could go. Like basically, it was their I don't know the whole deal, but it was
Limited,
basically political bullshit. There's
yeah.
a lot of misogyny in the military. There's a lot of fucked up.
Sliding everywhere.
Yeah, boy, howdy. There's.
I mean, also, if you want to go back to the subject of
Okay, if you want to do some really, really, really good things that will help us, that will help the channel, and will help yourself, fight racism, fight misogyny, fight illegitimate illegitimate power structures, fuck authority. Anyway, I knew to come back around to it.
I knew it'd come in here.
Oh, you want to be in charge? Why? Really? Why? Yeah. You want a what? No.
Side note though, if you ever come across a giant base in a Rust server that has a big sign on it that says "piss off," going through the second gate, you will get tased by a bunch of Tesla coils, and I will feed you to bears. I don't need to run faster than the bear. I just need to have some bits of people on me.
You know, that just made me think of two things simultaneously. One would be Peter's evil overlord list. Or sorry, Peter's evil overlord list. Which this is going to... Okay, some throwback here. There used to be a webcomic called User Friendly. And there...
Oh my god. Oh, it's as bad as Plastic Brick on Comic-Con.
Okay, he
like,
remembers.
ugh.
I don't know. Some of our viewers might not remember this, so I just want to actually...
If they're drinking beer, they remember.
Oh, not necessarily. But anybody, User Friendly had a character named Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter had a list of all of the shit that he was going to do if he was an evil overlord, but it was mostly like shit it was like a mix of shit to do and not do if you're an evil overlord. Like, don't spend time monologuing. Like, if you have the hero in your clutches, you don't spend time monologuing about all the shit you're gonna do because you're about to kill him and blah da 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 da. You kill the fuck.
You're monologuing on your own time.
Yeah, like monologue when you're done. That's cool. If you have like, I think one of the things is like, if I have someone who's a second in command and things go terribly, I'm not just gonna like shoot them. Like, they're my second in command. They're supposed to, like, they're there for a reason. I have this person on council for a reason. Also, for similar reasons, I will keep a 9-year-old on my staff at all times to look at any of my plans, and if a 9-year-old can find a fucking loophole or a problem or a thing, then I'm gonna change the thing.
There's a giant event here that a torpedo would fit into very nicely.
Like if you have an ultimate doomsday machine, don't have some sort of like, if you have a self-destruct, don't label it self-destruct. Or if you do have something labeled self-destruct, make sure it kills the person that pushes the self-destruct button.
It makes it like an instantaneous thing.
Yeah, right.
Like if you have a self-destruct button, it should be the sort of thing that you press when you know everything's lost, but you still want the hero dead. Like, no, I'm gonna push this. There's no countdown. It's a click, click, boom. Like, make it a self-destruct that requires like a key.
Yeah, there's a.
Like you push the button, turn a key, and.
If I find out that there's some sort of orphan somewhere that's supposed to be like, it's going to be the one that kills me, I'm not just gonna like have a whole bunch of people killed. No.
We'll find that orphan. I'm gonna adopt him.
Yep.
He's mine now. What do you mean he's supposed to kill me? He's my
What
son.
are you gonna do? I'm gonna start an orphanage. But yeah, no, that made me think of Peter's Overlord list and shit. What was the other thing? Damn it! There were two things in particular that made me think of.
Oh, I'm still working on getting a bear into it.
Bastard Operator from Hell is also a thing that comes to mind, but damn, I can't remember. It's I got distracted. ADD, scroll brain, and a little bit of
I'm
booze.
just gonna cover this up. Unnamed energy drink, carbonated water with caffeine in it.
You know, we have. You could just grab an empty glass and dump that in that. Like, you already don't like how it tastes. If you mix it with beer, it might be just as terrible. It's gone now. So, for the record, the original Thai recipe for that, way better. Oh my god. It was like sweetness and raspberries and fuck yes.
Yeah, I drank the first one of those in the. Well, actually, not in the car. I was working on a car.
It's a fizzy drink that apparently turns you into Icarus, but not the one that's my manager.
That's a good way to explain it. No, when Kai called me to let me know that it was 10 minutes until 3, I had my elbow inside of somebody's car, like their engine, because I was adjusting their alternator. And I was like, oh shit, it's only 10 minutes. Oh crap. And I just had to be like, okay, there we go. Fire it up. Do it. Look good. Bye.
You showed up way early, and I was like, oh, hi. Cool. Wolf.
Well,
Yeah, no, this is fucking tasty. I do love me some Mac and Jacks. Pardon. Yes, no, oh man. All of these.
God, I want macaroni and cheese now.
These are all good examples of these particular styles of beer. Like Odin's Gift, it's a good amber ale. Mac and Jacks, good amber ale. Claymore, tasty Scotch ale, still not my favorite. Oh, we should do a blind Scotch ale. That's a thing. That will be a future episode. 6 Scotch ales.
Something else too. I'm sure eventually we can do a liquor episode of like a certain type of liquor. But
there will be liquor episodes.
The thing to understand though is that if we're gonna do a liquor episode, we do need either advertising support or Patreon support, because there's a couple liquors.
Well, we probably need both advertising support and Patreon support
to afford the liquor episode.
Well, we'll figure that out as we go along.
Yeah,
because I'm working on expanding my liquor cabinet, so it's a thing that we may be able to do as
I've got 3 bottles of Don Julio, like tequila episode.
Tequila. Oh man.
I got like 5 or 6 different types of tequila. Now, there is one thing that I want to do. I want to do a bourbon and I want to do a whiskey episode. If I'm doing a whiskey episode, I want a bottle of 1872. And that's some expensive ass whiskey.
So, okay, here's the thing. We can do an Irish whiskey episode.
That
We
would
can
be
do
good.
a Scotch. If we're gonna do whiskeys, we have to do Irish whiskey, Scotch whiskey, and then a breakdown of American whiskeys, because bourbon is very much an American thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I gotta get some of.
and then we're gonna have to, along with just the whiskey thing. Once we actually do that, we're gonna have to have whiskey of specific bills, like a corn bill and a rye bill, and
We're gonna have to be ordering some alcohol
whatever
for that.
bill. Now, I actually have a 100% rye bill whiskey from place in Montana. The name of the whiskey is Destroying Angel. I don't remember the name of the distillery, but
That one's yeah.
it's appropriately named.
It is clear and it.
It is clear. I also have a cornbill whiskey, which also sure I think it's a Hudson thing. We'll probably do we have to do separate bills at some point.
Yeah. If
But,
at any
but
point,
we'll venture into liquors and do things with that at some point. But those are going to be special episodes.
if at any point we end up doing a bourbon episode, I'm gonna need to make a phone call and get a bottle of Henry Looker's Bullet Bourbon. It is made in gunpowder barrels.
Okay,
It is not a
Blake. Is it
Henry Looker's Bullet Bourbon. It is not listed on any website. I'm gonna have to call Henry Looker and get it because he only
Okay.
makes it like a few times a year.
Sir, when I hear bullet bourbon, I think of bullet like Bull. I think it's EIT, bullet bourbon. Which, yeah.
Well, he means bullet like a mini ball. It is bourbon that to get a bottle you have to sign a waiver. It is made in gunpowder barrels, and he floats a single mini ball into each barrel.
That doesn't sound. When I hear gunpowder and alcohol, I want to hear gunpowder proof. Like my favorite rum.
It is gunpowder proof.
Okay?
The reason it's
anyway,
it's supposed to be Civil War era bourbon is the idea.
at some point, we'll
Yeah.
do liquor
I was just-
episodes. But for now, we have the beer stuff. Our next episode is going to be the next planned episode is at Hidden Mother Brewery, and that's gonna be in a couple weeks, and I very much look forward to that. We'll be hanging out with and talking to Mike, who is the brewer and owner, and my first experience with his beer, because I know that his one experience with Hidden Mother is we went to the brewery real quick just to like stop by, talk to Mike, and make sure that we could actually do the thing.
We got a back room.
But my first experience with Hidden Mother was having some of their beer on tap at Beerocracy when it had shortly after it had opened. I guess maybe a year after it had opened. But one of the things that he did was he made a beer, and he like took like a pine tree and cut a gully in the pine tree and lined it with.
Oh, you were talking about that one when we were on
like lined
jobs.
it with the boughs from the tree, and then used that as like a big luge to dump the beer down,
Yeah.
and then made the beer from that. And he's done it with a few different things, and I love it. That got me interested in that, and the whole like using trees for beer thing.
I think I just
like,
thought of something.
kind of
Do you-
cool.
Do you remember how their countertop is a giant pine tree?
Yes.
Do you think they might have?
No, it's not that one.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking like they have that in there as like a reminder of it, maybe.
Well, yep. Well, maybe. I think it was probably just an aesthetic thing for. Well, you know what? That's a question that we can.
We can ask him.
Yeah.
Also, something that I thought of a long time ago. I don't care if anybody steals this. If you do this in your home bar, send us a goddamn picture because I want to see it work.
What?
A buddy of mine who is a thermodynamics major he thinks he found a way to make a bar kind of surface that keeps itself at like a specific cooled temperature by using water cooling
Okay.
and like running like a basically an icy river through the inside of the bar.
Okay.
But he made it like scenic. Like he got those little itty bitty modeling things and like made a whole scene of like a river running down because he wanted an Alaskan themed bar.
Okay.
It looks insane, and when I last touched his bar, it was like actually like almost crisp level of cold. And if you set your cup on it long enough, it will actually like start to frost up the cup because of just how cold it is. And if you don't want it cold, you just put it obviously up.
That just makes me think of.
Come on.
I don't know. That makes me think of like Cold Stone and a few other places and things. And that's really
Dude, I miss Cold Stone. I wish I could still eat ice cream.
I love ice cream. Okay, so
You're not lactose intolerant though.
no, I'm gluten sensitive, but not lactose intolerant, and that is why I love Strauss Family Creamery. I don't know if they will ever sponsor us, but if they do, oh my god, I love y'all.
You could request it.
It's Strauss Family Cream. If you want to sponsor us,
I'll send them an email.
Oh my god, they have the best ice cream. The best ice cream. It's like close to 1,000 calories a pint, and that's one of the things that I
That's
love
good
about
ice
it.
cream though.
Yeah,
like,
no,
it should have high
because
calories.
it's like it's
cream.
organic, grass-fed
Oh my
cream. Like it's just like pure milk fat and a little sugar and
Happy cows produce some thick ass cream too.
My god.
Like it,
Like,
animals that are happy.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you've never had Strauss Family Creamery ice cream before, just
some.
if you like Cool Whip, what I suggest you do is you go buy a pint of Strauss ice cream, just buy a pint, and let it sit out on your counter for about half an hour. Like, if it gets ice around it, that's cool. Like, just actually wipe it off and let it cool down a little bit. Like, even if you just let it sit for like maybe 10-15 minutes, it's gotta be like, if you can grab it from the outside and like squoosh and you don't even feel anything, crack that thing open and just start eating it, because it's gonna be like Cool Whip on steroids. Like, it's if you made
This man eats entire pints of ice cream at a time.
a pint of ice cream is a serving size. I don't care what the label is. If like a pint is a serving size. If I get a pint of ice cream, like, oh, go to the store, buy a pint of ice cream. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna eat that fucking pint. I
At
see
least
it
you're not
as,
eating like a quart of ice cream or something. Like that'd be too much.
that's just too much dairy for my
Like
stomach.
anybody.
Like, it's just, like, I love
Sickening
dairy.
level.
Like, but yeah, no, that's just too much for me. I don't drink milk.
That's like biting a block of cheese level of dairy.
I don't like milk, but I really like dude, milk fat and
I
milk
can't do
thing. I
milk.
don't just drink milk by itself, because to me that's absolutely fucking nasty. But I have discovered that heavy cream, I could sip on that. But things with like milk and heavy cream in them, oh yeah.
So something I found too is
Or
I've got
made of them like butter.
I have a mild lactose
Cheese?
intolerance. Yeah, but I'm pretty much like him. If it's a dairy product, I want to put it in my face. And the thing is too, I cannot stand milk.
Yeah,
I
no,
start to
cannot-
drink it and I'm like, this
Ever
tastes
since I
like
was a
someone
kid, eating,
juiced
like,
an animal.
Yeah, no, I drinking milk is just nasty to me. It tastes absolutely fucking horrible.
It's
But,
for
like,
babies, dude.
But when you make stuff with the milk, that's when it becomes like, all right, this is acceptable. Unless it's
Cheese?
skim milk, because skim milk is colored water. You might as well be drinking chalk. I don't. It's actually no. Don't drink. Don't do that.
Don't drink chalk. Pepto-Bismol is not chalk. There's bismuth in it. You also shouldn't drink liquid bismuth. It's measured a very specific way.
Hey, Pepto-Bismol.
Pepto-Bismol.
Liquid. Don't drink liquid bismuth. Like, don't drink molten metal. Well,
Don't. You know what?
that's pretty reasonable. I mean, that mercury is included in that.
If you have to question whether or not you should drink it, you should probably not drink it.
Okay.
Like, I mean, legitimately, like, question it. Like,
Okay, I was gonna say, like, how are we doing this show then? Because, like, if you question whether or not, like, the Belgian episode, then we can do it by your reasoning. We cannot do a Belgian episode.
Don't you fucking recite that old magic to me. By your own reasoning, we can't do this thing I don't want to do. Like,
you are far too slow. You are far too slow.
What do you mean? Drinking? How many of you drank already? Jesus Christ.
This is what I have left to drink.
You always tell me to slow down.
I want you to, like, look,
Darn
he
fine.
hasn't even...
I was saving the raspberry one for last because it's really good. And I need something to toast with.
Yes, you
To
do
make a
have-
nice ding noise.
Now I'm having to slow down on my
Fuck
drink.
that, need some pistachios or something.
At this point, I think it's around mayhaps time for the end of the YouTube-y stuff, and we'll go ahead and roll on into the after hours from this.
Goodbye, YouTube.
YouTube, all of you lovely YouTube viewers, and even the not so lovely YouTube viewers.
We see you down there in the comments.
Yeah. We see you there. See,
Have a beer, goddammit.
Yeah. So, I'd like to say to all of our YouTube folks, thanks for actually watching. Please like, please subscribe, ring a ding dang the little bell, and with any luck, you might actually get notice of our subscriptions. I mean, we're not offensive enough to get our subscriptions blocked. We're not a history channel or somebody that we're not a channel that tries to actually like promote non-biased, unpartisan.
We're pretty biased. We think
factual-
everybody should have rights.
Yeah, well, not just rights, but like
Human decency. Or like
people should have
the ability
rights.
to
People should have
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are things to which I definitely have an appreciation.
These
for.
are the things to which I toast my beer to.
By the way, unfortunately, Ben Franklin did not say that God made beer because he loves us and he wants us to be happy. Benjamin Franklin said, God made wine. Well, I don't remember the beginning of it, but God made wine because he wants us to be happy. I don't believe in God, but I do think that
Eat the
alcohol...
fermented fruit.
I do believe that that alcohol in general is a good social lubricant and an excellent way to break down some
Social lubricant.
It's a good way to break down some barriers between people. And drinking beer, sharing a drink is very much akin to breaking bread. Sharing beer is akin to breaking bread.
That is why the Romans had the saying of one luce diamici, which is alcohol brings friendships, because
alcohol brings friendships and starts fist fights.
also ends them.
Polite people do not put a broken Newcastle bottle in your face and say, "Stitch that Jimmy."
Anyway, your movie kid.
So,
Happy Valentine's Day, because that's probably when this will get released.
Also, anybody that sees this around Valentine's Day, and just as a general statement about Valentine's Day, it was made to sell rocks and paper. Okay, cut that shit out of your social thought line.
Also, if you're single on Valentine's Day and you're happy being single on Valentine's Day, Pornhub has a great offer for you. They have free premium for a week on Valentine's Day. I'm not even kidding. I'm not judging, because I literally I work for them part time.
Just
seriously, if you're single and you're happy being single on Valentine's Day, treat yourself to like some good, nice, warm food, some decent drinks, and just spend the day just doing you.
So,
If you're not, you got a BDSM store nearby.
a couple actually. So, quick note. As far as like things that we do apart from this for money, he edits porn, and I'm a DJ at a strip club.
Woo, 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 woo.
Keep drinking.
Keep
Keep thinking. And fuck racism.